Transfusion-related acute lung injury, or TRALI for short, is characterized by respiratory distress shortly after blood transfusion. In this video, I'll cover the causes and presentation of TRALI in one easy visual mnemonic, so you can remember all you need to know about TRALI for test day. Oh man, that house party I threw was wild yesterday, but I just hate it when people spill punch on my things. And get this, someone even spilled punch on my fan, so I had to call in the repairman this morning. By the way, doesn't my broken fan remind you of lung injury? Since fans move air just like lungs, right? And it's obvious why my fan is broken if you just look at all the cups holding blood red punch everywhere. This blood red liquid in cups with clear straws reminds me of blood transfusion. In other words, you can say my fan breaking was a reaction to this bloody punch drink yesterday. I'm sure you get it now. The broken fan with spilled red drink is our anchor for transfusion-related acute lung injury, or TRALI for short. TRALI is exactly what its name suggests, a reaction to blood transfusions that causes difficulty breathing. TRALI typically occurs within 6 hours after transfusion, and this acute onset explains the word acute in the name. Now let's talk about why TRALI happens. Yes, the repairman is here. To access the fan blades, he's removed the net-like mesh frame that covers the fan. By the way, the clamp he's using to do this looks kind of like the letter Y, don't you think? And you know what else looks like the letter Y? That's right, antibodies. And we all know that a net is Pixariz's recurring symbol for neutrophils, or neutrophils. So this antibody-shaped clamp attached to the net should help you remember the antibodies targeting neutrophils in TRALI. Specifically, one of the causes of TRALI is donor antibodies attacking host neutrophils. That's anti-leukocyte antibodies in the donated blood which attack the white blood cells of the host. I want to take a moment to contrast this against febrile non-hemolytic transfusion reactions. In febrile non-hemolytic transfusion reactions, we have host antibodies attacking donor white blood cells. This distinction between host or donor white blood cells attacked is important and serves as the underlying basis of how they present differently. In TRALI, the white blood cells attacked are the host neutrophils. Recall that most of our body's neutrophils are not circulating, but instead held in marginated pools lining capillaries in the spleen, liver, and lung. When these neutrophils release cytokines, they damage all places, but the lung is the most sensitive to inflammation. A little vascular leak causes edema, which isn't a big deal in the spleen or liver, but in the lung, this edema can impair gas exchange. Contrastingly, in febrile non-hemolytic transfusion reactions, the white blood cells attacked are the ones transferred inside the circulation, and when they get killed, they release cytokines that diffuse widely through the entire bloodstream, causing systemic fever and inflammation. To be honest, the mechanisms of TRALI are not well understood, but I think this is a really great way to think about it for test day. Alright, back to the story. So our repairman has taken off the net cover, and it seems that he's getting into the fan blades itself with yet another Y-shaped clamp. The Y-shaped clamp attached to the fan blade reminds me of direct antibody attack of the lung. Specifically, donor antibodies also attack host pulmonary endothelial cells, that is, the blood vessels in the lung. We've even added these red wires that look like vessels powering the lung blades to strengthen the link to blood vessels. It should be obvious how this causes lung injury. Damaging the blood vessels in the lung causes inflammation and vascular leak, which lead to pulmonary edema. To peg this fact, notice how our fan itself is wet. The fan got damaged because someone spilled punch on it, remember? This picture represents the pulmonary edema, or fluid leak, that causes pulmonary distress and shortness of breath in patients. I've already talked about how donor antibodies attack host neutrophils and pulmonary vessels to cause edema. All this extra fluid gets in the way of the fragile membrane physics needed for gas exchange. As a result, patients present with shortness of breath, and chest x-rays will reveal a ton of edema. I've been told that this looks a lot like the lung edema seen in heart failure. But if you see this clinical picture in an otherwise healthy person who just got a transfusion, TRALI should definitely be on your differential. Alright, that's it for TRALI. Let's recap quickly so our repairman can concentrate on his work. Transfusion-related acute lung injury, or TRALI, is a type of transfusion reaction characterized by lung damage after a blood transfusion. It occurs because the transfused donor antibodies attack host neutrophils as well as host pulmonary endothelial cells. The resulting pulmonary edema and inflammation presents as shortness of breath and respiratory distress. And that's it. We're actually done with TRALI. Who's ready for another party?